Hello students, I am Kinjal Parmar. Welcome back to the video lecture series of microprocessor and microcontroller. Today we will discuss PWM programming and DC motor control in AVR. So let's start with DC motor. What is DC motor? A direct current motor, that is DC motor, is widely used device that translate electrical pulses into mechanical movement. In the DC motor, only positive and negative leads are there. Connecting them to a DC voltage source moves the motor in a one direction. By reversing the polarity, the DC motor will move in a opposite directions. One can easily experiment with the DC motor by means of connecting positive and negative leads to the voltage source. This DC motor is basically leads are used on that, and when the leads are connected to the positive and negative voltage sources, the DC motor moves. While a stepper motor moves in a steps of 1 to 15 degree, DC motor moves continuously. In a stepper motor, if starting position is known, then a count number of steps the motor has moved and calculate the final position of a motor. This is not possible with a DC motor. As DC motor has a continuously rotation, the maximum speed of a DC motor is indicated in a RPM and is given in the data sheet. The DC motor has 2 RPMs, no load and loaded. The manufacturer's data sheet gives the no load RPM. The no load RPM can be from a few thousand to 10,000. The RPM is reduced when removing a load and it decreases as the load is increasing. So DC motor is based on the rating of RPMs given in a data sheet. The DC motors also have the voltage and current ratings. The nominal voltage is the voltage for the motor under normal conditions and can be from 1 to 50 volt depending on the motor. As the load increases, the RPM is decreased unless the current or a voltage provided to the motor is increased, which in turn increases the torque of a DC motor. This DC motor is with the fixed voltage. As the load increases, the current consumptions of a DC motor is increases. If overload, the motor it will stall, and that can damage the motor due to the heat generated by high current consumptions. DC motor have either unique directional control or bidirectional control. So here we have a figure for unidirectional control and bidirectional control. This is for a unidirectional control, either in a clockwise directions or in a anti-clockwise direction. So this is a DC motor control in a unidirectionals, and here there is a H bridge control. So this is a bidirectional control. Depending on the position of a switch 1, 2, 3, 4, this motor will move either in a clock directions or in a anti-clock directions, depending on this how according to that a switch is closed. For example, switch 1 is closed, switch 2 is closed, 4 is closed, then 3 is closed. So it is moved like this, and according to that it also moves like this depending on which switch is closed and open. This is a H bridge DC motor control for a bidirectional control. This DC motor can be interfaced with the AVR like this. This AVR can be connected through opto isolator to the this DC motor. Okay, this opto isolator is used to provide additional protection of the AVR. Here this separate power supply is used for both of this. Okay, so here D1, D2, D3 are connected like this. Okay, these all are the diodes and it is connected like this in a H bridge directions for a bidirectional control. So PB0, PB1, PB2 are connected through opto isolator to this DC motor. So this is how DC motor can be interfaced with AVR. So DC motor can be programmed like this. As previously we show the figure. So figure shows the connections of L28. Okay, so add a switch switch to pin A.7. So add a switch at this pin and write a program to monitor the status of a switch and perform the following: that if switch is equals to 0, then DC motor moves clockwise directions, and if SW is equals to 1, then DC motor moves in a anti-clockwise directions. So for that, initialize library is called like this, m32def.inc, then make PB0 as a output, PB1 as a output, and PB2 as a output, because at a PB0 there is a enable, at a PB1 there is a clock, and at a PB2 there is a counter, as shown in previous figure. Now port B is set the port B 0. Okay, so set bit of PB0. Okay, now complement the DDR A7 here, make a port A as a input. So for that, clear the bit A.7 is equals to 0. So using the CBI instructions, clear the port A.7. Now set the point A.7. Okay, now set the point A.7 through these instructions and check the value. Skip next if PA.7. So if it reads the value of A.7 and if it has a set value, so skip next instruction, that means jump to clockwise. If A.7, though we have to perform a clockwise. Okay, so here if PA.7 is equals to 1, so it will skip the next and it will goes to n. If A.0, this is SW is equals to 0, so it will execute the next instruction and it jumps to clockwise direction. So whenever PA.7 is equals to 0, so it will jump to clockwise directions, otherwise it will close to anti-clockwise direction. So for clockwise, we have to make switch 1 is equals to 0 and switch 2 is equals to 1, and for clockwise we have to make switch 1 is equals to 1 and this switch 2 is equals to 1. Okay, so this is how this both can be depends on this bits are set and this bits are here. In a anti-clockwise, P1 is 0 and this second bits is 1, while in this bits, this port B is equals to 1. Okay, switch 1 is equals to 1 and switch 2 is equals to 0 on this. So SBI, so set and clear the bits. Okay, so this is how we can perform either anti-clockwise or clockwise. So when switch 1 is 0 and switch 2 is 1, so it performs clockwise, and it performs anti-clockwise, and when this switch 1 is 1 using this SBI and CBI, switch 1 is 1 and switch 2 is 0, it performs clockwise movement. So this is how when PA.7 is 0, so it jumps to the clockwise, and if it is 1, so it will skip the next instruction and it has a values like this, so it will control and DC motor moves in a anti-clockwise direction. So this is how DC motor programming can be done. Now next we have a PWM. The speed of the motor depends on a 3-factor: load, voltage and current. For a given fixed load, we can maintain a steady speed by using a method called pulse width modulation. By changing a width of a pulse is applied to DC motor, we can increase or decrease the amount of power provided to the motor and thereby increasing or decreasing the motor speed. So this increasing and decreasing motor speeds, and with the DC control we can generate a PWM wave. The voltage has a fixed amplitude, it has a variable duty cycle. The wider the pulse is, the higher the speed. The PWM is so widely used in a DC motor control that some microcontrollers come with the PWM circuitry embedded in the chip. So PWM is used with the DC motor control for some microcontroller to design a varieties of pulses. In such a microcontroller, all we have to do is to load the proper resistors with the value of high and low portion of the desired pulses, and the rest is taken care by the microcontroller. So to define want that we want this amount of pulses or we want this amount of pulses, like for example we want 25% duty cycle, we want 75% duty cycle. So we have to just load the resistors with the proper value of high and low portion of a desired pulses, and then this microcontroller can generate our pulses depending on our requirements and depending on the values of resistor. This allows the microcontroller to do other things. For microcontroller without PWM circuitry, we must create the various duty cycle pulses using software, which prevents the microcontroller from doing other things. So the ability to control the speed of the DC motor using a PWM is one reason that DC motors are often preferred over a AC motor. That's why using DC motors, this microcontroller does not want to produce or doesn't need to produce PWM manually or through software. It can generate it through DC motor. AC motor speed is dictated by the AC frequencies of the voltage applied to the motor, and the frequency is generally fixed. As a result, we cannot control the speed of AC motor when the load is increased. Here this PWM generation is shown over here. We have a various PWM waves like 25% DC, 50% DC, that means 25% open and 0.75 off, 50% that means on off both time are equal, 75 that means 75 on, 25 off, 100% full that means all time on. So these all are the PWM waves. So how we can perform or PWM waves or these types of waves in assembly? So here we have a program. Write a program to monitor the status of the switch and perform the following: that if PA 0.7 is equals to 1, then DC motor moves with the 25% of duty cycle, and if PA 0.7 is equals to 0, then DC motor moves with the 50% of duty cycle. So how we can do this? So load first library, then initialize stack pointer, then make a port B.0 as an output through this instruction set bit, then clear the bit of port A.7 to make as an output. Okay, now set the bits, then enables this and turn off the motor. Okay, here turn off the motor for a initialization, then check the values if this bits are set. Okay, SBIC pin 8.7, if this pin are set, so skip the next instructions and it will jump to the label of P50. At a label of P50, that means at a when this pin 8.7 are 0, okay, this pin 8.7 are 0, so it will skip the next instruction, it will jump to the P50, that means it has a 50% duty cycles, otherwise it will continue with the instructions. Whenever this pin 8.7 is equals to 1, so it will skip the next line and goes with the this program like SBI port B. So as port B is equals to B.0 is equals to 1, then call delay, and then P is equals to 0. So continuously set the bit, then delay of a 25% for, and then clear the bit. So it will generate the 25% duty cycle for this pin 8.7 is equals to 1. But whenever this pin 8.7 is equals to 1, okay, whenever pin 8.7 is equals to 1, it skip the next instruction. But if pin 8.7 is equals to 0, so it will execute next line, that is R jump P50. So it will goes to the P50 locations and SBI port B0. So it makes port B1, then call delay, and then it clear the values. So this is how high portion pulses and low portion pulses are like this. Okay, so this is how it works, and again jump over here, and again it will continue to 25%, that means 25% time it will on and remaining time it will off. So this is how PWM waves can be generated in a assembly language programming. Same thing can be done in a C programming. Write a C program to monitor the status of switch and perform the following: if the SW is equals to 0, so 50% duty cycle. If SW is equals to 1, so 25% duty cycle. So define the labels and define the libraries and define this delay functions, and write, just make this port A as a input and port B as a output. Okay, so here if switch is equals to 1, okay, if switch is equals to 1, so port B is equals to shifted like this and delay of 75 microsecond, because we want 75% time, our time duration is 1, okay, 50% duty cycle and 25% duty cycle. So for a 50% we want a 50% and for 25 we want 75 and 25, right? So when switch is equals to 1, so when switch is equals to 1, we want 25% duty cycle. That means 25 times it will 0, and other 75 times it will 1. So this is how we generate here delay. Port B is equals to port B, only this 1 less than 0, that means only PB0 is equals to 1, okay, and then 75% delay second, so it will 1 continue for a 70, it will 0 for a 75 milliseconds, or says for a 75% of time, and for a remaining 25 it will be 1. So for a 25% duty cycle we want, for a 25% time it will 1, and for 75% time it will off whenever switch is equals to 1. Now for a switch is equals to 0, for a 50%, that means it will be 50% on, 50% off. So port B is equals to 0 for 50% and for port B as complemented for other 50%. So this is how PWM wave can be generated. Thank you.